it's Natasha of natashaskitchen.com, and today I'm gonna teach you how to make the ultimate chicken pot pie. You're gonna love that super easy, flaky, buttery pie crust, and wait until you see the filling. It's unforgettably good. Let's get started, because I'm hungry. We'll start with a rotisserie chicken. You'll need 4 cups of cooked shredded chicken. You can use a store-bought rotisserie chicken or try the easy recipe that I'll link to in the notes. This is also a great way to use leftover chicken or even leftover turkey, and you can use light meat or dark meat to make a chicken pot pie. You can use 2 forks or just use your hands to shred the meat into bite-sized pieces. Set that aside, and we're gonna do some quick prep of your vegetables. Thinly slice 8 ounces or half a pound of mushrooms, and brown or white mushrooms are fine. For safer slicing, so the mushrooms have a flat surface, cut the mushrooms in half and then thinly slice. It may seem like a lot of mushrooms, but they do shrink down quite a bit once they're cooked. Set those aside, and now we're gonna chop up 1 medium yellow onion. And if you don't already have one, a food scraper makes food prep so easy. This is probably one of my favorite tools in the kitchen, and I will link to it in the notes. Next, thinly slice 2 medium carrots. You should have about 1 cup of sliced carrots. We love the flavor and texture of the carrots in here, but make sure you don't slice them too thick because they won't cook through properly. Another quick tip for safety: when cutting carrots, to make them more stable, cut them in half, then thinly slice. Next, we'll mince 3 large garlic cloves. The easiest way to peel a garlic clove is to first cut off the end, then smash them, and smashing will help release the skin so they peel easily. Once your garlic is finely minced, our last bit of prep is to finely chop 1/4 cup of fresh parsley. Once all of your ingredients are prepped and ready to go, it's time to fire up the stove. Place a large pot or Dutch oven over medium-high heat and add 6 tablespoons of butter. This is one of my favorite Dutch oven pots. It's a 5.5 quart, and I will link to it in the notes. Once the butter is melted, add your diced onions and your sliced carrots. Sauté those together for about 8 minutes, stirring occasionally, or until the veggies are soft. Next, stir in your sliced mushrooms, then add your minced garlic. Continue sautéing those for another 5 minutes until the mushrooms are softened. Next, sprinkle the top with 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour and stir constantly for about 2 minutes. The flour should be golden in color, and you're basically making a roux, which will help to thicken up the sauce. Next, add 2 cups of chicken broth and 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Bring your mixture to a simmer, then continue cooking for another minute or until the mixture is a thick gravy consistency. Just before you turn off the heat, add 2 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, or season the mixture to taste. It's important to have a well-seasoned mixture at this point. Now add your 4 cups of shredded chicken along with 1 cup of frozen peas and 1/4 cup of finely chopped parsley. Stir that together until it's well combined, then take it off the heat and let it cool slightly as you roll out your pie crusts. We're using 2 discs of our homemade pie crust that we've made the night before. These have been chilling in the refrigerator, and homemade pie crust is the easiest thing to make. You can use store-bought in a pinch, but I highly recommend trying homemade. Check out our easy video tutorial for the best homemade pie crust. I will link to that in the notes. Lightly flour your work surface, then roll 1 chilled pie crust disc into a 12-inch diameter circle. One of the things we love about this all butter pie crust is it's really easy to roll and work with. You want to have a large enough circle to fit your 9-inch pie pan and hang a little bit over the edges. Here's our best tip for transferring a pie crust into your pan. Lightly dust your rolling pin with a little bit of flour to keep it from sticking. Then loosely wrap the dough around your rolling pin. Now simply unroll your crust right over your pie pan. Arrange the dough evenly into your pie pan so you have a little bit of dough hanging over the edges. Then pour your chicken pot pie filling that has been cooling slightly over your pie pan. Make sure you get every last drop because everything in here is delicious. Spread the filling evenly into the pie pan. And you'll be tempted to eat the filling at this point. It is so tasty. Set that aside and we're gonna work on the top crust. Lightly dust your work surface again with flour and roll the second pie dough disc into a 10-inch diameter circle. Now transfer that crust the same way and unwrap it directly over the surface of your chicken pot pie filling. Simply line up one edge and unroll. You'll see there's a little bit of pie crust overhang. That little bit of extra crust is a good thing. You'll need it to crimp the edges later. So tuck the top crust under the bottom crust. I like to give the dough a little pinch to help it seal as I go. You can leave the edge like this for a more rustic look, but crimping the edge is super simple. With one finger, press on the dough, then pinch the dough around it with the 2 fingers on the other hand. This creates a beautiful fluted edge. If your crimped edge is sticking up above the center of the pie, one trick I learned to keep it from browning too much is just to pat it down. Next, cut 5 to 6 2-inch slits in the center of your pie. This will create vents for steam to escape. To give the pie a beautiful golden brown color when it's baked, we're gonna brush it with an egg wash. So beat 1 large egg, then use a pastry brush to generously brush it all over the top of the pie. Make sure to also brush inside the crevices of your fluted edge. Lastly, because this is a savory pie, I love to garnish the top with a little bit of coarse salt and black pepper. Now bake the pie in the center of a preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes or until the top crust is golden brown. If you notice the crust is browning too quickly, you can create a pie shield. You'll need a square sheet of foil. Cut a 4-inch diameter circle out of the center of the sheet and place it directly over the pie. Once the pie is out of the oven, you'll want to let it rest for about 15 minutes to cool slightly, otherwise the center will be piping hot. The hardest part about making this pie is the wait. Thankfully, it's not too long. I'm so excited. I have waited long enough. The pie is still warm and you want it to be. It's gonna be perfect, trust me. Before we slice into this, I love to garnish with a little bit of parsley. And that's what I love about the cracked black pepper and the salt on top. Everybody knows it's a savory pie. Oh, yum, yum, yum. I think the first time my daughter tried this, she was disappointed because I told her I had a pie. She thought it was a sweet pie. So she made a funny face. It's time to dig into this. I cannot wait any longer. Okay, we're gonna cut a big slice. Oh goodness, I'm so hungry. And you can use a store-bought crust if you really need to, but making a homemade crust is so easy. I mean, watch our video tutorial on this. You'll be impressed how simple it is, and it will be a store-bought crust all day long. It's flaky, it's buttery, it's so good. And we use the same pie crust for sweet or savory pies. It is excellent. It's like our go-to. Actually, it's the only pie crust we use. So good. Okay, here we go. Big ol' slice for me. I'm excited. Oh yes, getting close. Look at this, it's like chicken in gravy. It is so saucy, loaded. This is like the most satisfying pie you will try. It's so good. And that filling is like perfectly thickened, so it's not gonna fall apart. Okay, I'm going for this because I'm so hungry. Okay, here we go. Yum, look at that. Everything in this is so delicious and mouth-watering. It is like a meal in itself because it has meat, it has veggies, it has crust. Okay, here we go. This is a home run. It's so good. That crust, it is so flaky and satisfying. And what I love about this pie is the bottom crust does not get soggy. It's kind of weird, but it's perfect. It reheats really well. I'm telling you, you will hope to have leftovers of this pie because the next day, it's just as good. Score one for mom. I love the mushrooms in here. They're so tender and they add a lot of flavor, so don't skip them unless you really don't like mushrooms. Add the mushrooms. Maybe you'll change your mind. And then the sweet peas, I love that little sweet pop of flavor in every bite. The sweet carrots, so much chicken. And the chicken is super tender in that gravy. It absorbs some of it. Oh, I keep talking about it. I keep thinking about taking my next bite. I can't wait. All right, wait, I gotta, okay. We'll see you in our next video.